Alright, hi guys, let's talk about the physical setup of the Demon Hunter in patch 2.1.2. After the patch came out and in the PTR before that, most people were saying that cold is the way to go. We have to go for the cold Maelstrom for maximum efficiency and so on. To be honest, I'm not very sure about that, because cold is good, of course. It's especially in T6 I think it is very good, but I think that this opinion was influenced a bit by the previous patch and the Frostfire setup, where the cold Maelstrom was paired with Arsenal multi-shot and Spitfire turrets and Frost Arrow, and I think it was for the rockets and for Frost Arrow that you were sort of forced to do that, because it just paired very well. It was not because the Maelstrom itself was especially good. As a matter of fact, if you calculate the numbers, the physical cluster arrow is like 17% stronger than the cold cluster arrow against single targets or up to 3 targets. At 4 targets it's the same power, and at 5 targets it's 14% weaker than the cold setup, cold cluster arrow. So up to 5 in 5 targets cold is better, lower it's equal or physical is better, and the more targets you get, the less important gets the difference between cold and physical. And to be honest, in Greater Rifts you will face many situations where you have single target or low number of target situations, especially against yellows that you can't really skip, or against the Rift Guardian, and that's a big chunk of the time that you spend there. Okay, so for the physical setup, I was just going with the standard T6 setup I have, with the very nice Stone of Jordan with resource cost reduction. For Greater Rifts I swap in a Unity with Tagak and Pride's Fall without socket, because cooldown reduction is just not that powerful in the spec. I changed one other thing, and that's Tactical Advantage. I take that out for Night Stalker, actually, because in the level that I'm doing for fun and sort of single player efficiency, I don't need awareness. Alright, what do I have here? I have a few nice items, like gloves. Shoulders are ancient, chest is non-ancient, Pridefall non-ancient, a usable Hellfire for physical, an ancient physical Reapers, Ring of Royal Grandeur, not very good, but yeah, it's just what I have here. Zaze is level 56, here's the Bane of the Trapped 58, and the Tagak is 56 as well. This ring, this belt here is actually very strong, stronger than most people would believe, because it reduces the resource cost you have, and it's usually stronger than 6%, as you see there, because there is a certain resource cost that you can spam endlessly. That resource cost would be like 10 or 15 hatred per shot, and you don't need to reduce it to 0 with resource cost reduction, and therefore this is actually stronger than you would know from the number here. As a matter of fact, it increases the damage by like 8 to 9%, I would guess. I did not really calculate it in this case, but it is strong, it's very strong. Okay, the other items are more or less standard. This is ancient, but not high quality, just ancient. Still old gear here and here, and the best item is probably the Wind Force I have here, because knockback is very very good, and as I said, resource cost reduction is very good. So in the Greater Rift setup I do have 54% resource cost reduction. That helps a lot. Without Pride's Fall it's 34, and that's still pretty decent. Paragons, oh yeah, the usual suspects. Cooldown reduction comes last. You don't need it much. Gold find is useless here. And for the skills, passives are pretty obvious. I have Call of the Week in the Hellfire Amulet. Ballistics is a must. Steady aim is usually very good. Night Stalker instead of awareness, because it helps keeping the Takeox stacks up. It helps a lot actually. And custom engineering. That's, well, it's also a must. There's nothing to argue against that. Alright, let's see, what level should I do? I just go with a 44. Alright, I just show some gameplay and that's it. Because there's not really something special about that. Thing is, keeping the Takeox stacks up is the hardest thing. And at the same time you should try to... oh yeah, that was close. You should try to keep the Pride's Fall buff up all the time. That's also not so easy usually, especially when you have a situation like right now. Warping, jumping guys right at the entrance. See, I lost it. Because I was not careful enough. I did not take care. Yeah, jump on me. That's one big flaw in the Greater Rift design, I think, because it happens too often that you're greeted with enemies right when you enter it, and that's just not fair because you don't even have time to look, and sometimes you're swarmed by 2 or 3 elites, and that's bad. That's very bad. I don't see why they have to do it like that. You see, I'm always moving. Some people call it stutter stepping. I'm not very efficient at that. It's okay, but others are much better. Now, yeah. See, now I'm in a situation without Pride's Fall and the costs are very high. Yeah. You've seen I've taken damage from Thunderstorm and the Pride's Fall buff did not drop. Oops. Could have died there. And that's okay. It's unavoidable. So you can't do much about it, and it's okay that you don't lose the stack there. And one of the worst affixes for me now is Plagued, because it's unavoidable. They cast it right below you, and you instantly lose the Pride's Fall buff. I don't like that. I do have 19 million toughness with the Takeox stacks up. That helps, of course, in G44 with Unity. That's okay. But still, if you're not careful, you die. When you die, you lose the Takeox stacks, and losing 76 Takeox stacks is not fun. Like, yeah. Yeah, reflect. For some setups, reflect is the worst affix you can possibly see. Not for mine. It's not very nice, but yeah. You have to take what you get. You see, I can keep up the Takeox. Even though I lose my Pride's Fall buff from time to time. Not a big deal. So what's this pylon? Speed. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't like speed. I'm fast enough. This is actually a pretty easy rift. With all these skeletons. You've probably noticed the knockback that appears from time to time. It comes in handy from time to time, always. Wow. This rift is extremely easy. And for those that are not familiar with Demon Hunter gameplay, you can totally see that you need to be aware of the battlefield, aware of what's happening, and you need to move a lot. And you also need to click a lot. And to keep the Tagak stacks up, even without enemies around, you need to shoot or place a sentry in between. Placing the sentry is usually the better way because it's not so expensive, and you want the sentries up anyways. So if you have to fall back, there's something that you can rely on. Zombies and the like. So what's this? Power. Very good. With some luck, I can get the Rift Guardian to spawn here. If that happens, he goes down much faster. Let's see. Who's here? Oh. Very nice. Oh. Yeah, I actually lost my Tagak stacks because I did not take care of it. It's sometimes challenging to keep them up, and you have to be focused, but it is worth it, especially... oh shit, what happened? Especially if you aim for higher ranks and want to beat your personal previous record, then you have to use that gem. There's no alternative. Some people are using the Enforcer gem, but this only increases the damage of your sentries, and they're only 50% of your total damage, and so that's not worth it. Gotta be... fuck that. Played like a noob right now. And who's it? Oh shit. I do not like that one. against this poison gas you always lose your Pride's Fall buff. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. Good thing is the rockets hit always. I did some mistakes in the rift. I was talking too much, not focusing. But yeah, still almost 5 minutes. You see, physical, even when you have a lot of monsters around, as we had here, it can do its job pretty well. Let's level some lower gems. Alright, that's it from my side. Hope you have seen what you wanted to see. Goodbye.